Dikakanyo dintle, imqondo emihle. Steve Biko, Health Sciences University. Ngicela kungaba icebo elihle ukube ne-Steve Biko Health Sciences University in Kingsburg or King Williamstown, or even where he was born in Takastad. I think it would be the first step, because in any case there's no other health sciences university like the previous Metuns are now known as Fakomakhat University in around 37 kilometers north of Pretoria. That's just my opinion. That it would be a good idea to have Steve Biko Health Sciences University. Because I think it would be, because in case Steve Biko wanted to study to become a doctor, he got expelled because of his political activity. So I think in his memory they could do that. Focus more on his hometown, where he was born, where he grew up, where his cemetery is. It would be a great idea, because I only know of Sakakumakhat Health Sciences University in Harangua, 37 kilometers north of Pretoria. I don't know of any other health sciences university. Do you know of any? I do not believe, because I was researching and I didn't find any. The one that focuses mainly on science. But anyway, it's just my idea. The good ideas. That's the movie dedicated to Steve Biko.
Steve Biko? Are you Steve Biko?
Donald Woods meets Steve Biko for the first time. Donald Woods was a journalist, a white journalist who was against apartheid, and Steve Biko was a black man fighting apartheid.
Well, he was the special hero of the young black South African political activists. He articulated their philosophy for them. He was the founder of 4 movements which had a special bearing on their problems. And
so I think it would be a good idea to have a university in the Eastern Cape in his memory. But in the Eastern Cape, it's one of the most underdeveloped provinces, probably the most underdeveloped. So in his hometown, in Takastad or in King Williamstown, either in the city centers, in the town centers, or even in the location of his home, Kingsburg, but somewhere around there. You have one campus in King Williamstown, one in Takastad. Denzel Washington played well the role of Steve Biko, the famous American actor. Thumbs up to him.
you might say, the spiritual head of them all and the advisor and guide of these movements. So he occupied a very special place. At the age of 30, he was just young enough to be acknowledged as the leader of the youth and just mature enough to be able to do so wisely.
It was good of you to come, Mr. Woods. I wanted to meet you for a long time.
That's Donald Woods and Steve Biko. So sometimes you oppress people only to find that you're making them more popular, because apparently the Kosimampur Correctional Services in Pretoria, just when you enter coming from Johannesburg, which of most people call it New Lock, and it was formerly known as Pretoria Central Prison. It's just about, it's a heritage site apparently, dedicated to Steve Biko. May his soul rest in peace.
We see a completely non-racial society. We don't believe, for instance, in the so-called guarantees for minority rights, because guaranteeing minority rights implies the recognition of portions of the community on a race basis. We believe that in our country there shall be no minority, there shall be no majority, there shall just be people. And those people will have the same status before the law, and they will have the same political rights before the law. So in a sense, it will be a completely non-racial egalitarian society.
To hear what just said, he's not racist, as much as he's fighting for his fellow blacks. Fortunately, I was not even born by then. He passed away in 1977 and I was born 1988. It was 11 years after his death. So I was born at the time when apartheid was about to end. So I didn't experience oppression, but I respect and worship people like him who were brave enough, because I'm not sure if I would have had that courage. You oppress people, you make them more popular. The whole world now knows about them.
In Steve's case, I knew he would never harm himself physically in there. He'd given me to understand quite plainly that if he was detained and he died in detention, and it was alleged that he had done anything which brought about his death, such as hanging, this is the one often given out, cutting himself, something, or suffocating himself,
he was too courageous to do stuff like that, hanging himself. So it was a lie. They killed him. Now they had to face the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in 1987, which was 3 years after South Africa's democracy. It actually started in 1997. It had to be an ongoing process to arrest those who need to be arrested and find justice.
When he was on a strike, I don't think it would have killed him. There's especially, quoting the number of days they say he was refusing food. I don't think that would have killed him. Unless they were giving him bad food. I know he doesn't like bad food, of course. But I don't think that would have killed him.
Okay, strong man.
Very much strong, healthy. He was never ill, seriously, except for one illness he had.
So there was no way that he could have killed himself. So now justice had to be done. That's why they are naming streets after him.
I could have any price that I desire. I could buy.
Imagine a man dying at 30, sacrificing his life just for you to be free, just for we, the current generation. So you have to be grateful for such people, because such people are hard to find. So I think they should have a Steve Biko Health Sciences University in his memory. That's just my opinion. But they need to have something of that sort in remembrance of him. And it was called Metwins. It was built in 1979 apparently, and then it became renamed in 2015. In 19 as Sfakomakhato. It became officially known as Sfakomakhato. So Steve Biko must have something of that sort in Kingdom's town of Takastad. Don't ever oppress people, because now Hendrik Verwoerd also hospital has been named Steve Biko Hospital in his memory, Steve Biko Academic Hospital. So that's what happens when you oppress people. You oppress people only to popularize them. Now the whole news about it, they see them as icons. They see you as an evil, heartless man. And even though Hendrik Verwoerd was highly educated, he had 3 qualifications, but he destroyed his image.
That will not only produce your medical students, your doctors, but that will provide the host of programs within the health and science sector, which we don't have in the country, and we don't have in Africa, actually.
Yeah,
so that's when the decision was taken that we must build the science sector, which we don't have in the country, and we don't have in Africa, actually. So that's when the decision was taken that we must build a new university that will focus on producing all health science related courses, your medicine, your vets, your radiographer, your farmers, and various other professions that are within the health sector.
So I think it would be a good idea to have Steve Biko Health Sciences University in King Williamstown or Takastad or in Kingsburg where you are buried.